Mario Kart Wii, the game that made fake driving feel like real driving.
Whoa!
If you think that's cool, just imagine what Wii Chess did for me. Often regarded as one of the best Mario Kart games, this game is exactly that. The best Mario Kart game. Fun tracks, incredible gameplay, at least a dozen landfills worth of plastic. Seriously, this game has it all. But easily, the thing that Mario Kart Wii is most well known for has to be its difficulty. Almost every course is excruciatingly hard to race on. Either that, or there's just so much crap going on that winning feels beyond your control. So that's why today, I'll be ranking the top 10 hardest Mario Kart Wii tracks. This list is based on how difficult each course's layout is, what kind of obstacles are presented, and also which ones make me want to go out and buy another Wii wheel just out of spite. Retro tracks won't be included this time around either, but don't worry, I'll get to them eventually. Now then, get those tilt controls turned on because it's time for the countdown. Number 10, DK Summit. Ah yes, the Donkey Kong level, with the big statue of Mario. Makes total sense. You're likely thinking I'm crazy for even putting this track on the list at all. But I can assure you that this course is far more challenging than you probably remember. For one thing, the entire track is littered with jagged bumps and ramps. This combined with the slippery physics make it a real struggle to aim where you want to go. Great, just what this motion controls fest needed. There's also some very large gaps about halfway through, and while avoiding them isn't too hard, if you do somehow manage to fall in, you might as well kiss first place goodbye. But even all this isn't as bad as the ending. You're supposed to use these half pipes to navigate the end of the course, and boy is it tough! I mean, you've got your snowboarding shy guys, who move rather quickly by the way, as well as this deep snow that slows you down to a crawl, on top of all the other Mario Kart Wii nonsense! It's just so much to manage all at once that things almost never go how you want them to here! While it definitely isn't the zaniest track out there, DK Summit will certainly put your skills to the test. Number 9, Mushroom George. What? A track from the Mushroom Cup on a top 10 hardest list? How can that be? Honestly, I'm not even sure, because this course is the equivalent of stepping in dog poop while wearing open-toed sandals. The big gimmick for this track are these mushroom platforms that bounce you into the air, as all mushrooms do. They're basically just giant trampolines, and they're surprisingly implemented fairly well here. However, it's not so pleasant when you have to bounce on like a dozen of them in a row when they're all really spaced out, all while being over a large bottomless pit. Yeah, you could say that things aren't so cheeky then. The reason this is so hard is because you aren't able to turn that easily once you're in the air. Which means that if you're not lined up at just the right angle, well, I hope you don't mind losing. And sometimes things are simply out of your hands, like if you get hit by an item or bumped by another racer. Even just the slightest change in your speed or direction will send you falling to your doom. Take it from me, I've been playing this game almost my entire life, and I still usually fall off on this course. It's just not something you can get good at. Although the rest of this track may not be as tedious as the ending, Mushroom George will always remain a Mario Kart mishap in my book. Number 8. Dry Ruins, aka the definitive Mario Kart desert track. At least to me it is. This course is a lot more technical compared to the previous ones I've already mentioned. And it's a good thing too, because the last desert track Nintendo made almost put me to sleep. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Bone Dry Dunes. The majority of the challenge comes down to the fact that the turns here are much less forgiving. Whether it's the twisty paths that bend beyond the sand dunes, or the 90-degree angles found inside the temple, each and every one will be sure to cause you trouble. Of course, it also doesn't help that you've got sand physics to deal with too. I mean, good luck even staying on the road since it likely isn't going to happen. But the hardest part of all has to be the half-pipe section. Because if you mess up, somebody's driving for the sand! One of the last things you'll encounter is this room that gradually fills up with sand across all 3 laps. And I think it's a nice touch. Just watch out for the Pokies while you're in there, as they'll probably end up ruining your day otherwise. In the end, Dry Ruins is far from being a dry track, as every single second will undoubtedly keep you on your toes. Number 7. Koopa Cape. Man, oh man, is this track a good one. Everything about this course is just so creative that it still manages to amaze me even to this day. But wait a minute, you're not here to listen to me praise this track, no. You're here to listen to me complain about it. So, this course has a lot of hard and burdensome aspects about it, mainly the turns. Some of them are incredibly sharp, including a few that are nearly 180 degrees! But believe me, that's not even the worst of it. At around the halfway point, you'll submerge underwater and fall into this long, clear pipe. Down there are these fast-moving electric things, or Koopa Zappers as the wiki calls them, that will make you tiny if you drive into them! Now tell me, what other track in Mario Kart history has ever had something that can shrink you? Sure, there's been lightning and junk before, but this is completely different! And if all that just wasn't enough, you also have to deal with raging rivers, bottomless pits, and a waterfall that will drag you to your death if you so much as look at it! Koopa Cape is a course that is just jam-packed with nothing but the hardest elements. I know for a fact that there's plenty of good times to be had here. But don't let that distract you from how much of a nuisance this track really is. Number 6. Maple Treeway. Look, I've seen a lot of crazy looking trees in my day, but none of them were quite as annoying as this one. I mean, this old maple's got everything from tight turns, to leaf piles that spew bananas all over the road, to giant wigglers trying to run you over. There isn't a single moment of peace on this track. You have to be on edge the whole time, or else you're going to fall off of it. The edges, I mean. Because there's a lot of them. Yeah, I sincerely believe that the toughest portion of this course is the super wavy bridge at the end. Not only is it remarkably easy to fall off of, but it's also had a pretty infamous history here on the internet. Hey, if you're old enough, then you know what I'm talking about. At the very least, there's a decent number of shortcuts around, which makes trying to catch up a little bit easier. But again, it doesn't really matter, because it's going to require luck no matter how skilled at the game you are. While Maple Treeway is a unique idea for a Mario Kart track, it doesn't help that almost everything else about it is much too hard for most players to enjoy. Seriously, they should just chop this stupid tree down. Does anybody know a good lumberjack? Number 5. Wario's Gold Mine. Everyone brace yourself, because this is a hot take alert. Repeat, this is a hot take alert. I don't like this track very much. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say it's my least favorite course in Mario Kart Wii.
Oh good, the protesters have arrived.
Part of the reason I've never been too fond of this track is because it's so awkward. There's just so much crap going on half the time that it always finds a way to piss me off. For example, with how many dips and dives are located throughout the course, it feels much more like the world's hardest roller coaster than it ever did a gold mine. Now, some of you may look at this and think that it's inventive. I look at this and think that it's a safety hazard. And speaking of potential dangers, I'm pretty sure these runaway minecarts are perfectly safe for all the drivers. Yep! I don't see how any of that could be a problem! And the amount of ledges you can fall off of here is just absurd! You'd think with how much gold they're bringing in, they'd be able to afford a few more guardrails. But nope! I guess Wario doesn't care about workplace safety! Why isn't there an HR rep that I can report this all to? All of this, and I mean all of this, is just way too hard for the majority of players. Mark my words, Wario's Gold Mine is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Just you wait! Number 4. Moonview Highway. I hope you don't mind going on the freeway, because this track is literally Toad's Turnpike on steroids. This is the first course on this list where it truly feels impossible. The whole thing takes place on a busy expressway filled with zooming cars, trucks, and bombs? Wait a sec, that has to be illegal, right? All of the rushing vehicles here move exceedingly fast. And when I say fast, I mean really, really fast. While it is possible to avoid crashing into all of them, your chances of doing so are almost 0 to none. Plus, half the time there's these dash panels spread out that make you move even quicker. But all they actually end up doing is make it more likely for you to run into something. Because who needs time to react to things anyway? I swear, these people are all driving as though they're late for work, and their bosses are going to yell at them for not being on time. And then they're going to have a bad attitude, which is only going to make them speed on the way home, since now their day is ruined. I mean, not that I would know. Look, Moonview Highway may be one of the hardest tracks in the entire Mario Kart series, but at least it could be worse. Oh, who am I kidding? What on earth could be worse than this? I would like to retract my previous statement. Number 3, Grumble Volcano. Let me start off by saying that this track has a lot of hugely original ideas. There's just a lot of things about it that I feel like we've never seen before, and I'm all for it. Alright, that's enough compliments. Let's talk about why this course is asinine. I know it's been said before, but I'm willing to say it again. The turns here are absolutely despicable. It seriously feels as though the road never stops curving. And the lack of any guardrails is the cherry on top. But unlike all the other tracks, there's something about this one that makes it far worse. Perhaps you've taken notice of how the course changes with every passing lap. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you, because the track is actually falling apart while you're racing on it. You see, on the first lap, everything's fine and dandy. On the second lap, things start to get a little shaky. And by the third lap, well, you'll be lucky if there's even enough ground left to stand on. The layout is already hard enough at the start. So the fact that it gets narrow over time is like getting kicked in the stomach on high fructose corn syrup day! And that's without even bringing up the fire snakes, the colossal jumps, and the literal fire raining down from the sky! Grumble Volcano is an absolute mess of a course, and one that I wouldn't even make my worst enemy play on. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to go grumble in the corner to help calm myself down. Cruddy Volcano, hardest track my ass, stupid corn syrup day. Number 2, Bowser's Castle. Welp, we've officially made it to the point of no return. If there are any young children in the audience, now would be a good time for them to leave the room, because what they're about to see will assuredly mess them up. Bowser's Castle tracks are notorious for being extremely complex, but this one in particular makes sure to let you know it. Hell, it's so hard that I don't even know where to start. How about the exceptionally bumpy hallway that tosses you all around? Or what about the obsessively tricky turns that immediately follow? And don't forget the 100-foot Mecha Bowser who spits giant balls of fire at you, forcing you to use these half pipes to leap over a massive river of lava! And if you thought this course couldn't get any worse, well, you're wrong! How about a long, twisty staircase with flumps crashing down at every single step, followed by a large hop through a spinning fire bar, which leads directly into a field of gushing lava geysers! I know it seems insane, yet somehow this track exists, and I don't really have a single clue as to why. I can guarantee you that every wink of time you spend here will be filled with anxiety, desperation, and even a little self-pity. As a matter of fact, I think I'd rather take a back to the nutsack than have to deal with this course.
Wait.
But somehow, if you manage to put up with all Bowser's Castle has to offer, there is still one track that will surely finish you off. Number 1, Rainbow Road. Oh my gosh! Rainbow Road is in the number 1 spot? Holy banana pudding! Who could have seen that coming? In all seriousness, this track is undeniably the hardest one in Mario Kart Wii. The amount of pain and suffering you'll experience here is unlike any other, and it doesn't take much effort to see the reason why. The course starts with an immediate plummet towards Earth's atmosphere, with dash panels scattered everywhere that only help to make things more terrifying. Then you'll go over what I consider to be the scariest ramp in the game. Not only is it really easy to fall off of if you aren't lined up correctly, but afterwards, the road instantly jets to the left into another downward headache! Soon after is the super wavy bridge with star bits floating beside you, and these abnormally large crater-shaped holes that leave you very little room to work with. Then, after a quick ride through a launch star, the rest of the track is complete pandemonium. I mean, we're talking half pipes over nothing but the vastness of space, split paths that bend in every direction, and more than enough dash panels to fill up the state of Nevada! I have utterly no clue as to how a single course could be so hard! And here I thought I knew what torture was being on DK Summit, but boy was I wrong! Nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever compare to the monstrosity that is this game's Rainbow Road. So, I've decided to vow that if I ever fall off of this track again, I am going to...
That's it. I have had it up to here with these stupid tracks. Just because you're my favorite Mario Kart game of all time, that doesn't give you the right to make fun of my inability to drive a motorized vehicle! Oh, if only there was a way I could prove to myself that I'm better than those stupid courses. Oh. Wait a minute. I've got it! If I can obtain an actual driver's license, then I won't have to rely on this game every time I have the urge to go driving! I can just do it in real life! Oh, delightfully devilish, Pigman. Maybe this'll finally show those tracks who's boss! Hello there, the name's Pigman. First time driver, long time tilt controller.
Edna drives a lot. I'm going to be your driving examiner for today.
Oh good, I thought you were a ghost.
So it says here that you've never driven a car before?
That's right. I've driven boats, planes, trains, Ohio-class submarines, but not cars before, no.
It also states you put in a request to remove all blue shells on the third lap.
Ah, trauma.
Look, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm not exactly sure as to why you're even here. I mean, you've never even driven a car before. What makes you think that you're at all qualified enough to have a license?
Does this count?
Alright. Okay, I'm just going to have you go around the block. Do you think you can handle that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty nervous. Do you think I have a chance at passing?
Sorry, what did you say?
Well, here goes nothing. So, how'd I do?
Are you kidding me? Do you seriously think you deserve a license after what you just showed me?
Oh, come on! Name one thing I did wrong during the exam. Besides picking my nose.
Well, for starters, you failed to stop at all of the stoplights.
Slowing down is for losers.
You took every single corner way too wide.
I had to fit those super mini turbos in there somewhere.
Not to mention, you started throwing banana peels at the other cars on the road.
Hey, you've got to be ruthless if you want to get first.
Never in my 19 years of teaching have I ever encountered such a reckless driver. There is absolutely no way I could ever, in good conscience, give you a license today, sir.
Oh man, I can't believe I did all of that practicing on Wii Rainbow Road for nothing.
You know about Wii Rainbow Road? What's your record for the least amount of times you've fallen off in a single race?
Probably like twice per lap.
Congratulations, you passed.